Hello students, Dr. Ford here, and I am with you for your final study skills workshop for ACA 122, and we'll be covering test taking. So if you've ever seen episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants, you'll know that he was a student. Actually, he may be. He's not a very good student, but he's in boating school from time to time, and I just think that those episodes are hilarious just from a teacher standpoint. So anyway, don't do what SpongeBob does. I'll give you some really good tips to improve your test taking. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that I want to cover is test taking anxiety. You could tell I like cartoons because here's another meme from a cartoon that I love to watch. Anyway, with test taking anxiety, there are several factors that you need to consider. So if you get nervous before a test, you need to figure out why that is. Oftentimes it is a result of having a bad experience from taking tests in the past. So this could be something recent in another class that you've taken, or maybe it goes way back to elementary school. So try to think about when this started for you. And of course, we want to break this pattern, okay? So we want you to be successful in taking your test at DDCC and beyond. So one way to do this is to prepare, and prepare some more. So I cannot stress that enough, that preparation, being prepared, is the best way to reduce your test anxiety. Think about it. If I were to give you a test on the alphabet and ask you to write down all 26 letters, you would not have anxiety on that for the most part, right? Because you're prepared. You know the alphabet. You've spent years learning it. You deal with the alphabet on a daily basis when you write an email or a text message, So that's a good example of knowing that being prepared is a great way to reduce your anxiety. Another great strategy, and I know this is going to sound weird and this takes some time to practice, but you want to visualize yourself doing well on a test, okay? This is a strategy that professional athletes use, and some people in the business field also use this. So you may have heard the law of attraction. Well, this is very similar to this. You start off by picturing yourself in the room where you'll be taking your test. Okay, so typically, if you're an on-campus student, there's probably a classroom that you come to at DDCC to take a class, and that's going to be the same room where you take your test. However, if you're an online student, your test-taking environment could be different. But it really doesn't matter what the environment is. You just need to picture yourself in that environment to start off, okay? So, and you can do this with me if you'd like to right now. But in creating your visual, you close your eyes, you picture yourself in your test location, and you sit down wherever that happens to be. You get your stuff prepared, whether that be pencil and paper or it's on your computer, that sort of thing. You imagine briefly yourself going through the test questions, but the key part to this visual is the feelings involved, okay? So you are going to go through the feelings and try to imagine what it's like to have that feeling of doing well as you're going through the test questions. And that feeling of success and happiness when you complete that test knowing that you did well. Okay, that's all it takes. That's your visual. Now, it's not enough to just do this once, okay? It's something that you have to practice. So if you're taking an 8-week class, this may be something that takes you a little bit of time, and you're going to have to get good at it pretty quickly. However, if it's a full semester 16-week class, you have a little bit of time to kind of practice that visual. But whatever the case may be, practice that when you've got some free time. So it's got to be a time where when you're in a relaxed state, you may just consider it part of your study schedule. Okay, build in some time to visualize yourself doing well in your classes on your tests. Another good tip, and you can do this right before your test, but you want to think about this now. So this is another strategy where you want to do a little prep ahead of time. Okay, think about your 5 greatest strengths right now. Okay, what are 5 things that you're good at? And it doesn't have to be something physical, right? So you don't have to be a great cook. If you are, wonderful, you can count that. But it could be something intangible. For example, maybe you're a great friend, or a great big sister or big brother. Maybe you're a dedicated employee, okay? It doesn't have to do anything with school. These are just your 5 personal strengths, okay? So this is a little confidence booster. And it's also to let your brain know that whatever test you're getting ready to take, it's not the be-all, end-all, okay? There's more to life than just this test. And you're good at things. So keep that in mind, okay? Stay positive. Okay, so now let's think about the night before the test, okay? What do you typically do the night before the test? I know some of you just said cram. That's not good, okay? Don't do that. So that's the first tip. No hard cramming, okay? So you should have already been prepared, very, very prepared by the time the night before the test rolls around, okay? If you want to, you can do a review. And I suggest doing the spaced repetition technique that you've seen in the Memorization Study Skills Workshop. That would be something good to do the night before. Maybe go over some of your flashcards. And on a personal note, okay, you want to avoid anxiety-provoking issues. Okay, so if there's family members that may cause you anxiety, try to avoid interacting with them the night before the test, or maybe even get the night off from work if that's a source of your anxiety. Another good tip, and this is something that one of our former study skills coaches at DDCC gave, and I have always used this with my students ever since I heard him say this, and that is to get your materials and items ready the night before the test. Okay? The last thing that you want to do is to oversleep and have to run around gathering your stuff and rushing out the door. Or if you're online, maybe you're rushing around to get your computer turned on. Okay, you don't need to do that sort of thing. Let's take some anxiety out of your life, and that is get everything ready the night before. So if you have to go to class, figure out what you're going to wear. Get that outfit ready to go. If you're at home, make sure that your laptop, your computer, your desk area is all clear and everything is set up for your success in taking that test the next day. And of course, sleep. That's one thing that you want to do is you want to get at least 7 hours of sleep. That's for your age group, college age students, you need to sleep at least 7 hours, okay? So If you don't do that now, at least do that the night before a big test. All right. Which of these do you eat the day of a test? What do you typically eat when you're in class or going to classes or taking your test online? What do you start off your day with? Well, you don't want to start off with the drinks on the left, okay? Because those can lead to a caffeine crash later in the day. And if that happens to be right when you're taking your test, that's bad news, okay? So instead, you want to give yourself some sustained energy by eating a meal such as what's pictured on the right. So we're talking about a sandwich with some protein, and a little bit of carbs to start you off right. I did want to make a note, though, that if you do tend to drink caffeinated drinks, you don't want to quit that just for the day of a test, okay? Because then that can give you a caffeine headache from not having the caffeine that you typically have. So you may want to cut down if you can a little bit, but that's a personal issue that you want to figure out what level of caffeine intake works well for you. Also, get to class early that day. And that even means if you're an online student that you are going to set up your computer early, okay? Definitely make sure that you've got the time to take your test. So if you've got a test that's due Sunday night, we know a class like that where your assignments are due Sunday night? You don't want to wait till Sunday evening to take that test, because what could happen? A lot of stuff, right? Your internet connection could go down, something could happen to your computer, and then you've left yourself with no time to get that issue fixed before the deadline. And if you're one of those people that, I know I've heard students say this, oh, but I get this rush from doing my work at the last minute. Okay, well, I've got a tip for you then. Pretend the deadline is Friday or Saturday, okay? You can change that deadline in your mind, and then you can get that very same rush, okay? And the other thing is you don't want to socialize before a test. Can you think about why that might be the case? Well, let's go back to anxiety-provoking topics, okay? There could be somebody in your life, it could just be a fellow classmate that's sitting in the classroom, you know, a little bit early, and if they're anxious about the test, that negative energy could be transposed to you, okay? So it's a great idea to get to campus early, but if there's people that are in the classroom or right outside the classroom that could be anxiety-provoking people, you don't want to socialize with them. And it could be as simple as just, you know, putting in some earbuds so that you don't hear what they're saying, okay? Or maybe you're off in a corner just listening to music, okay? That way somebody's not likely to come up to you and cause anxiety, okay? All right, day of the test, power pose. Has anyone heard of a power pose? I bet you haven't, but this is a great technique. Here are 3 poses for you to try. Okay, this is a psychology technique. So this is one of those strategies where you can promote self-confidence, and you can do that through your posture. Okay, so these techniques are proven to increase your self-confidence. The key is that you have to hold each pose for 2 minutes. Now I say each one, but you don't have to go through all three of them. Just pick one and do the pose for 2 minutes. You can be kind of inconspicuous with the seated one. So the key is to get your body in that pose, hold it for 2 minutes before you're taking that test. So if you're on campus early, or you've got your computer set up early, if you're an online student, try one of these poses, okay?